Would you please welcome to stage the Global Program Director from Kantar, Marla Baldwin, from We Are Neema, Katharine Williams, and the session's moderator, Senior Director from INVESTIGO, Michael Thornton.
Hello, everyone. Pleasure to be here. Well done to all the winners and runners-up so far, and fantastic to be in a room of brightly coloured change people. Kieran Stevens told me it would be very colourful today, and it really is, so congratulations. I'm the Senior Director for the Public Sector Division at INVESTIGO. The last few years, I think the keynote speaker mentioned it, there's been nothing but change. We've had Brexit in this world, we've had COVID, we've had change of government, and now, of course, we've got Mr. Trump and everything that comes with that. Hope everyone's up today. Delighted to chair this discussion today with these. I asked Marla if I could call them titans of the change world, and she said, absolutely not. Everyone here is learning. This is a journey we're on together. It's a community. Fantastic, lovely. I'll let the two ladies introduce themselves. There is some participation in today, so please get ready for it. As Margot said at the start of the actual awards today, we're hoping to inspire people today, so no pressure.
Thanks. Great, thanks so much. Hello, everyone. My name is Marla. My accent is Canadian. And I suspect, like many of you, I ended up in change completely by accident. My background actually is in sciences, and then law, and then accounting. So I spent more than 20 years of my career in Big Four delivering large transformation, complex programs for clients. So if we're looking at that spectrum of control and chaos, you might kind of predict I'm more at the control end of that spectrum.
And I'm at the chaos end of the spectrum. So I'm Katharine. I'm a leadership and team coach and cultural transformation consultant. I'm not going to give you a CV, a list of credentials like Marla has done, because I'm not that structured. So I'm going to let you know instead that, as Michael just alluded to, you're all active participants in the next 30 minutes. At some points, you're going to be asked to get out of your chair. At some points, you're going to be asked to speak to the person next to you. And irrespective of that, there's absolutely nothing passive about listening to people speak. You are all going to be taking action all the time. In fact, you're all taking action right now because you are sizing up, you are interpreting, you are deciding whether what we're saying is good or bad, whether you agree or disagree, whether this is something that you want to listen to, or would you rather go back in the bar and get a champagne? So for this entire thing, you're going to be judging, because this is something that we all do all of the time. Now, Marla and I are going to talk about polarities. We're going to talk about balance. Marla's very structured and I am not. So all the time, you're probably going to have a preference between Marla or I, and that's fine too. You might prefer the way she introduced herself. You might prefer the fact that I'm saying something that seems a little bit more creative. It's not good or bad. It's not good if you agree with one and bad if you agree with the other. I just want you to notice that you will have a preference, and you will have a preference about everything you do. You will prefer chaos or control. You will prefer head or heart. You'll prefer logic or intuition. And I'm going to invite you to notice what it feels like when you're in the face of what you don't prefer. So some of you, when Marla started speaking, would have felt really comfortable because it's all controlled and you know what's going to happen. And those people, when I started speaking, will probably feel a little bit irritated, maybe a little bit uncomfortable. So just now, I want you to notice, hearing us both speak and hearing this now, I want you to notice what's happening in your body. Because we think we listen with our brain, our cranial brain, but we listen with so much more. And there will be something happening in your body right now. So I want you to think, how do your shoulders feel? How does your jaw feel? Is it clenched? Is it loose? How is your breath? And at certain points in this today, you might feel like you're tensing up. You might feel like you're opening up, depending on if it's something you prefer or if you don't. And when you do that, and you're not aware of it, what might happen is you close your mind to the thing that you're hearing. And when we close our mind, we miss things. So if you prefer Marla's style so far, I invite you to keep your mind open to the things that I say. And if you prefer mine, I invite you to keep your mind open to the things that Marla says. But you will be having a constant loop of communication between your body and your brain. In fact, we think that most of our thoughts start here. They actually don't. We receive more information through our body than we do in here. This information goes to here and it turns into a thought. So whatever you're picking up through your body is where the conversation starts about how you feel about something. So the human heart, just quickly, has a cluster of 40,000 neurons, which are identical to the neurons in your brain. So you literally have a brain in your heart. This can process about 40 pieces of information per second. This processes about 40 million pieces of information per second. It's so much faster, it's so much more efficient. And yet we're taught to ignore it. We're taught to ignore how something feels. Who's been told, keep your emotions at the door, just focus on the facts? Don't. This is important intelligence. Feelings aren't fluffy inconveniences. They're important data. They're highly sophisticated intelligence. And when we cut them off, we are losing a lot of information. We're losing a lot of quality. So I urge you today to notice the things that are coming through your highest form of intelligence. Notice whether you feel like you want to expand, whether you feel like you want to lean in and listen, whether you feel like you want to pull back, because it's telling you an awful lot about how you like to do business, how you like to lead change, and how you like to be spoken to, and how you like to speak. So all of the time, you're going to be opening and closing to different things in this conversation. So just notice it. And so that's my introduction.
Thank you very much. I'm going to go for a Jake Humphries vibe in the middle of Chaos and Control, to be honest, so I'll be the rock. Like all good scripts, I forgot to mention at the start, we're going to be talking about the balance between these two up here, but today's really about how you guys see yourself in that, and where you guys can fit in your programs or your organizations. Okay, so straight to it. Two very opposite ends here. How do we balance without fighting? Marla.
Well, we talked about kind of chaos and control, and I actually really liked the professor's lesson of being very careful with our words. And how many people here, when hearing chaos, go, "Oh yes, I'll have some of that"? Brave people, bravo. How many people, when they hear control, go, "Oh, don't fence me in"? Yeah?
Interesting.
How many people, when they hear control, think guardrails, safety, structure? I think, even those words, control and chaos, are embedded with some judgment, with some interpretation. And I think back to your paying attention. Pay attention to how you react to chaos. Is it exciting, or is it scary as significant HE double hockey sticks? Katharine mentioned that this is going to be an active session. I would like to invite you. This is the part where we break social norms and we speak to our neighbors. I'd like you to speak to your teammate, your neighbor, and go, which one of those two, chaos, control, what do I feel more comfortable with? Why is that? And how would I reframe it if I knew that I was going to be exposed to chaos? If I knew that I was going to be exposed to control, how could I reframe it? And demonstrating control, I will give you exactly 1 minute to have that conversation.
Go.
Go.
Change professionals, please stop discussing chaos.
We're back.
Back to the control.
And the minute is up.
And the winner is...
Well done. It appears that people have very engaging, energizing perspectives.
It's going to be fun for more opportunities to speak. So,
Bringing back control.
so I hope you enjoyed that quick chat. Seems like you did. Maybe you were talking about the champagne, I don't know. I just wanted to take a second to talk about why chaos is actually essential as part of change, because I love chaos. I thought I'd use nature as a bit of an analogy, because in nature, nothing new is born without disruption. Nothing new happens without some disruption. And, you know, think about even our own bodies. You know, if there are any gym goers in the room, you'll know that to build muscle, you have to push it past its current limits, push it past its extremes, and something has to tear. The fibers have to tear in order for the muscle to grow. And the tear is the chaos. Something has to break, something has to be disrupted in order for something new to grow. Otherwise, you're just tweaking around the edges. So if you're serious about real change, about real evolution, real transformation, something has to break. And we have to be comfortable with something breaking. And of course, it needs to rebuild. And this is where you then need the control, because the muscle does need control to rebuild in a way that makes the muscle stronger and bigger. But that's how progress happens. So for me, it's just an essential part of it. And it can be uncomfortable, and it can make the jaw clench and the shoulders tense and all of those other things. And I think being comfortable with that discomfort is a really essential part of change.
Can I interrupt, Katharine?
Sure.
There's lots of people in here, and just to go off script again, like Jake would, you're making it sound all very easy. But you're up here for a reason. People want to hear from both of you. How did everyone out here actually take that away and translate that into a real change situation?
Why is it hard to do both? Why is it hard?
Why is it hard to do both? Because otherwise everyone would do it. There would be no change awards.
No, don't say that.
It's all change.
Well, look, from my perspective, balance is hard because we have to recognize that we have a natural preference and the situation is changing constantly and we have to constantly be adapting to it. And look, I've fallen foul many a time of not looking for balance. You know, as many of you may have already interpreted, I take a more logical approach, a head approach, based on intellect and logic and structure. And even this week, I have, tried to use that to force a change, and it didn't work. It failed miserably, and I'm happy to share that failure with you so you guys don't repeat it. Balance is hard because it's active and it's constant. And if anybody suggests that change is easy, they are possibly not entirely truthful, and they are possibly trying to sell you something. Because if it was easy, everyone would do it. And I think it's just about switching from recognizing what we are conscious and comfortable with and saying, actually, I need to find the other half.
And that's really hard to do that too, because we're very busy, and one of the things that stops us from being present enough to switch to the other polarity is fear. It's fear of failing, fear of making a mistake, or fear of looking stupid. And so when we're in fear, we will automatically go to the polarity that we prefer. If we like head-based leadership, we go there. If we like control, we go there. And the more fearful we are, the more we go there. And actually, usually that's the thing that's not going to serve us in the moment. So it's about having the presence to step back and say, right, I'm in a state of fear right now. I'm really scared that this project's about to fuck up. I really need to do something.
We went there.
And
It's happened. We discussed it before, and Katharine's gone for it.
And you know, calling in somebody that might have the opposite polarity, because often the thing that we need in that situation is not the thing that we can bring. So it's about having the courage in a system that might reward speed to say, we need to pause, because my inclination is to go here and to go here in a much more extreme way. And actually what we need to do is go over here instead. Who can help me go over here? Because this isn't my preferred way of working. So it's hard because we're busy and we're afraid of failure. And everybody is afraid of failure. We're lying if we say that we're not. And if anybody's in this room, I know that you've experienced fearful environments because you want to do a good job. And if you're in this room also, you've experienced pressured environments. We all feel it. And so it really takes something to have that presence to say, right, normally when I go into fear, I try to control, then I grip. So what I need to do is find a way to let go and see what's going to arise from the situation. And it is hard. Balance is very hard. It's not a fixed point you go for. You have to be constantly switching head, heart, strategy, empathy, logic, intuition. All of these things, you have to be able to walk them both. And it is hard, and we're going to see how hard it is right now. So, everybody up on your feet, please. I'll do it. We're going to do a little experiment. I would like, if you are comfortable doing so, and if you haven't had too much champagne, and if you're not wearing really, really high heels, and that includes everyone in the room, not just the ladies, if you're comfortable doing so, I would like you to stand on one foot and balance on one foot, please. And while you're doing it, I want you to notice what your body is doing to keep you in balance. So are you, I have got high heels, so I won't do it. Are you picking a spot in the middle and just staying there? Or are you finding yourself going, ooh, left, right, you're teetering?
Everyone's very steady.
Yeah.
Doing really well.
To stay in balance, we need to be able to switch between polarities. We don't just go straight for the middle and stay there. And if you think about, do you want to do something with this?
I'm going to do it with my eyes closed.
Okay, we haven't rehearsed this bit.
No.
Are you levitating?
So the other thing people might do when they're feeling out of balance is they might hold something. It might be a chair, or it might be the person next to them. So this is another thing that we do when we fall out of balance. Now, I want you to try this. If you are one of the people that preferred the slightly more chaotic part of this talk, I want you to imagine that that's your preference, and that's on the right-hand side. And if you prefer the control, that's your preference, you're on the left. And I want you to try and balance while you stay in your preference. So the one you prefer is right, the one you don't prefer is left. Try and stay in balance while you're leaning towards the way you like to do things. You can't, you'll fall. If you go too far to the way that you prefer, you will fall. You need to be able to bring both into the equation. Yeah? Done? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, you've all passed the field sobriety test.
Thank you for that. Clearly, people haven't been drinking enough at half-time, so let's step that up, please. Marla, did you get away with it, by the way? Did you style it out? The mistake this week?
No, but I've learned a lot, and I want to pass those learnings on to other people because it was painful. It was, we want to name the emotion. I was driven to do that from fear. When I failed, and I did fail, it felt shameful, it felt embarrassing, and I want to use that pain to give it to other people to go, please don't go through this cycle of experience. Yeah? So I failed to recognize my preference. I failed to recognize the opportunity that comes from chaos, the opportunity that comes from creativity, and the opportunity that comes from collaboration and letting go of control.
And this really happened. It wasn't even made up as an anecdote for this. It was real.
Please don't make me relive this.
You are on the panel next year.
No.
Okay, so we've heard lots about reframing transformation, balancing chaos, control, freedom, structure. What do you two personally want everyone to take away from this today and think about in their own worlds?
So for me, I don't want you to try and remember everything we've talked about because it will fade. But I would like you to remember any moments in this conversation where you had a reaction, even if it wasn't a positive one, because that reaction will tell you a lot about yourself and tell you a lot about how you like to work. And it will tell you a lot about where you can potentially grow into a different polarity. So notice where you triggered, were you comforted, were you pissed off, were you bored, whatever. It's important data, it's important information. And in your next big change, in your next big moment, I just invite you to pause and to think in that moment, is this the polarity that best serves me right now? What is this moment calling for? Is it the thing that I usually like to do? Or is it something else? Because in that moment, I think you might remember that you have way more intelligence available to you than you realize. You have way more range available to you than you realize. And in that moment, you'll have way more choice. And I think that the leaders of tomorrow will be the ones who can hold the capacity for both polarities, whether they agree with them or not, whether it's head or heart, or intuition or logic. When they can hold both with equal value, they will be the leaders that can see things that others can't. They'll know when to push, when to pause, when to pivot, because they'll be picking up so much more than they would have just got from a status report or a spreadsheet. So my invitation is to pause and to tap into that intelligence that we are born with. We are innately born with in our bodies, and everyone in this room has. So enjoy playing with it. Thank you.
And And for me, being ever the pragmatist, I'm going to at least suggest 2 pieces of advice that I hope you can at least experiment with. The first one is quick and easy. The second one is hard but worth it. The quick and easy. On your programs, we have KPIs that measure on time, on budget, completeness. Find a KPI for creativity. Find a measure of an innovation, of a surprise, of a wonderful discovery, and make sure that that's measured and successful and rewarded in the same way as the traditional program measures. You guys have the power to do that. Quick and easy. The slightly harder one, recognizing the polarities. When you're forming your teams, try to find a balance of people. Absolutely, you need people like Katharine who are energetic and inspirational and occasionally chaotic. Pair them with people who love control, structure, not because you want to suppress either side, but because you want both of them to complement one another. And those combinations are teams that achieve amazing things. They deliver change, but they deliver magic. So I would encourage you, like I said, be open to teaming with people from the other polarity. You will both benefit, and I believe we have too.
This is the future of a beautiful consultancy. I'm an early investor. A round of applause, please, for Marla. Really lovely point there, Marla. It's really hard to build teams, hence why INVESTIGO are here. So give us a call. Didn't even ask for that. Thank you very much, everyone. Good luck to the rest of the nominees, and have a good night.
Thank you.